Chemistry facts in today's world. Today, we'll talk about chemistry facts in today's world. Chemistry has influenced a lot of changes in our daily life and also in human history. For example, chemistry has made a lot of applications in medicine, in food, in war, and also in global warming. We will start with medicine, which is like the most representative field in which chemistry makes some advances.
Chemistry is a huge part of medicine, both as a diagnostic and treatment tool. Chemistry departments in hospital medical labs analyze blood, urine, etc. for proteins, sugars, and other metabolic and inorganic substances. Chemistry is a very important, if not the most important, aspect of medicine and health. This is because many illnesses will require treatment in which pharmacists will need a good understanding of chemistry and chemical properties to discover what solutions will be needed to treat the illness. We do not only use medicine to bring us back to full health. A good understanding of chemistry leads to the development of other things to give us good nutrition, which also helps avoid disease. So overall, chemistry could actually be seen as the absolute basis of health and medicine.
It is time to leave medicine now to go to another very important field in human life, the food. Chemistry in food. The chemical processes used in the food industry are the most important factor in food conditions, helping them to preserve food for long periods, using proper procedures in the application of chemicals in food. In the food industry, nitrogen is applied in the production of vegetable oils and animal fat, fish, dairy products, meats, and grains such as coffee, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, pastries, and prepared foods, in juices, in pulps, or fruits and vegetables, among others. The hydrogen in the fats, oils, and fatty acids. Hydrogen is applied to modify chemical and physical properties such as melting point, chemical stability, and to decrease the color and smell. Commonly, hydrogenated edible oils are soybean, palm, peanuts, and corn oil. Chemistry processes are used in food to preserve it for a long time. So that's the way chemistry helps us in food. Now, let's talk about another field in human life that is very important, but it is not good. Chemistry in war. Let's start with this topic.
Chemistry in the warfare. Chemical warfare is different from the use of the conventional weapons or nuclear weapons, because the destructive effects of chemical weapons are not permanent due to any explosive force. The offensive use of living organisms is considered biological warfare, than the chemical one. However, the use of non-living toxic products produced by living organisms is considered chemical warfare, under the provision of the Chemical Weapons Convention, also known as CWC. Under this convention, any toxic chemical, regardless of its origin, is considered a chemical weapon, unless it is used for the purpose that are not prohibited. We have many examples when the chemistry was used in the war. A good example is the little boy that was used in the World War II when United States dropped into Hiroshima, Japan. This atomic bomb created serious devastation for the city. It destroyed 80% of this one. Also, we have other chemical weapons, such as the Novichok, sarin, the gas, the X, the mustard gas, and the Fosgel. This one was used by Germany in the First World War.
Now, let's continue in another very important field in human life, the global warming.
The notion of global warming refers to two issues. First, it is a phenomenon observed in average temperature in recent decades, rising steadily. Moreover, it is a theory that from different projections says that temperature will continue to grow in the future due to human action. Global warming is often associated with climate change. But climate variability has always existed and it is natural. Today is usually associated with a change produced by human action, which generates abnormal variations. Global warming is often linked to the greenhouse effect, a phenomenon that occurs when some of the gases that make up the atmosphere are a concentration that retain the energy emitted by the Earth's surface after being heated by the sun instead of escaping. This increase in temperature will lead to drought, extraordinary storms, melting glaciers, and a rise in sea level. In humans, this change could represent an increase in the rates of certain diseases. Also, many organisms are facing a drastic change that many will fail to adapt, facing extinction. It is important to note that although most of the academic community agrees on the causes, effects, and other characteristics of global warming, there are studies whose results show different information and contrast to an extent with these consequences.
So let's start with another very important topic in this work, the 3 best solutions for poles melting that is treating Mexico's climate or Mexico's weather. So let's go with the best solutions for us. For us, the first thing we can do to solve this problem is to replace every dirty source of energy, for example the one that comes from petroleum, and transform it into clean energy sources, specifically solar energy. Why solar energy? Because first of all, it is unlimited. The sun will never stop, at least not while we are alive. Another reason to choose solar energy is because it is not only light power of the sun, it is also the heating power of the sun. Thermal energy is most of the times not used and it is wasted to the environment. We don't use the thermal energy that is inside the solar energy, the radiant energy, and I think if we use that kind of energy, we can obtain a lot of more energy than the one that is obtaining right now, and at the end it will be cheaper than have a lot of fossil fuels burning and throwing greenhouse effect gases to the atmosphere. Let's start with the second solution, law for the trees. This solution consists in government of all the world, every government of every country make a new law. This law will say that every house should have one tree at least in their background or in any place, but they should have a tree, at least a tree. That way we will reduce the greenhouse gas effect and that will reduce the global warming. So it will make that the poles not to melt. It will also help us in our health because we will not breathe too many gases like carbon dioxide or something like that, and we will have more oxygen. That way the greenhouse effect gases will reduce and also the melting of the poles will do it too. Less greenhouse effect means less global warming, and also it means. So let's start with the last solution that we give to this problem, and it's very simple. It is recycle. Just recycle. Why? Because when you recycle, you reduce the energy that is used in the production of some products, for example paper, plastic, or any other product that we use. If we reduce the energy that most of them is produced by fossil fuels, it will obviously reduce the quantity of greenhouse effect gases that is in the atmosphere, having as a result to reduce the same greenhouse effect and also reduce the global warming. It's like a prevention from the poles melting. This solution is very simple and also is very effective. In conclusion, in our opinion, chemistry, in most of the cases, has a very good effect in human life. But also, there are some times that chemistry have negative ones. For example, we think that chemistry apportations to the war are not good. Why? Because chemistry creates new weapons, and that means that there are new ways to kill people, and we think that is very bad. We consider that chemistry finished with the World War II. You will say that it helps to the peace, but no, the way that chemistry helps to end the World War II was the worst weapon ever created, the atomic bomb. It kills more than 100,000 people. By the opposite, chemistry has made a lot of applications in food and in medicine, and that is very good for us. For example, in medicine, chemistry is responsible about creating new medicines that helps to help some new sickness. Now, a controversial case, the food. Chemistry helps the food to preserve it for a longer time, but also it changes what we are eating. The other side of the coin is also that chemicals make food more durable. We think natural food is better than processed one and the one that has chemicals. But it's only our opinion. Chemistry and the global warming. This is another good point for chemistry. Thanks for the chemistry, we can learn how to use energies and how to transform it, and that is good because we can replace the chemical products, for example gasoline and natural gas, all of those products based on petroleum, and we can use new energies. Our final conclusion is that chemistry has good points and bad points. In our point of view, chemistry has more good points than bad points. It helps a lot to human life, and I think we cannot live without it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.